Okay, I'm Ndamunongenda Ndariponda Chapo, PhD student from Namibia, studying at the University of the Western Cape in South Africa.
How many languages are in Namibia?
So we have close to 30 languages. So yeah.
And is Namibia, what's the constitution of the language? Is it part of the constitutions? Are indigenous languages protected?
The indigenous languages, I can say they are not protected because we only have one official language, which is English. So other languages, some of them are taught in schools, but only up to the ones that are taught at the university level, unless if you are majoring into languages. But you don't, like, especially universities that are not giving education courses, there's no other local languages that are taught, so it's just English throughout.
Do you have any do you have anything to say about the extinction of languages in your country?
The
Extinction of languages.
extension of languages, yeah. I think it's quite a worrisome thing, I can say, because now we are losing our own vernacular. So the variety or the dialects are really just losing out because in schools, for instance, you are taught like grade 1 to grade 4, but that is only now when we're in the rural areas. Most of the cities or towns, they just have English. There are some schools that really make time to incorporate the local languages, but again, also I think as parents don't really want their kids to be taught English.
Also, it's the parents actually who don't want.
Yes, I can say, because also sometimes you'll find you'll be surprised, especially people who are in towns. They will tell you like, my child cannot speak my own language. They prefer their kids to speak English, and I think that's in a way it's also contributing to how our local languages are slowly dying in terms of writing, in terms of speaking. It's really, I think now that I have experience in South Africa where you guys have 12 official languages, I think for us we need to do more in terms of languages, especially the local languages.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, because we have local languages like Kokoa, that is spoken in the southern side. We have the Oshuambo that is spoken in the northern side, and then the one that is spoken in the regions of Kavango region. And what I've picked up is that the Kokoa and Xhosa is more or less like they all use the clicks that I find difficult really to, like, even when I came here, sometimes when I want to speak, I leave out the clicks and just speak normal. And I think for us as Namibians, I think we really need to invest more in our local languages, because I'm surprised at a big conference like this and you guys are using your local languages. And back home, our indigenous languages, I think we need to decolonize our minds to just understand that English is not a measure of intelligence, and we need to be more proud of our own indigenous languages. I think really if we pick up how South Africa really embrace your own indigenous languages, I think we can do more, because at a conference like this, because it's worrisome that you find people going to their own local places, their own region of birth, and they speak in English. And sometimes that brings a language barrier because people don't understand. You are delivering a message in English and the locals don't even understand.
And because loss of language is also, it would be good to have someone in Namibia raising awareness for indigenous languages, because the UN, this is like, it's like a decade of awareness for indigenous languages, of protecting indigenous languages, because there are lots of indigenous languages that are going to be lost, that are becoming extinct around the world. And the thing about that is that with every language that's lost, there's indigenous knowledge that's also lost. And that's culture, that's a way of doing things, it's a way of understanding the world. There's a perception that's lost because language allows you to kind of take on a certain worldview, and in how you speak and how you see, and the proverbs of that world, are lost.
Definitely, because we had, and funny enough, the people who were the professors who were looking at language endangerment were not even Namibians. There's one who's now retired, an Indian. She even went back, and then the current one who is there is from Ethiopia.
Wow.
And I was like, these people were doing studies on endangered languages, and for us as Namibians, we just see like it's not really necessary. And I think we need really to invest more into research in terms of the language endangerment, and also just revitalizing the endangered languages, and also just our own local languages. Because as you said, with culture as well, language is culture, so there's no way you can divide the two. So yeah,
it's so interesting because I don't know if you listened to the Jamaican professor who was talking about language reparations in some ways that have to do looking at slavery, and then in some ways, that it looks like that's something an African country needs, like your country.
I think it's really colonialism. And just because I think we are still in the era where our minds are colonized as far as language is concerned, because we are meant to understand that foreign languages are powerful than our own languages. And really, I think the starting point should be to decolonize our minds, and just really, especially in my country, Namibia, just really to put more research and really resources as well, because it also comes with resources. I can't just stand up and say
but if education is going to be free, it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible, but it needs to start with us as residents, as citizens of the country, because then if we don't want to learn, for instance, if I say my child will not learn my own mother tongue, then it's as good as nothing, because then even at home I'll speak with my child in English. At school, the child speak maybe Afrikaans or English, or the other schools where they are taught French, they speak French. So it really needs to start with us.
So how many languages do you think are dying in Namibia?
There are quite a lot, because I know of now the studies that I've mentioned. They went to it's kind of the Mbaja language, or Shimbaja, which is less spoken. I think it has a little population, 1 or 2%. And then far north, we have, I think, the Subia and Mafe, where those ones are taught in Silozi. Not in their local languages. So even their first language, the one that they are learning in school, is not their own mother tongue. They are taught in Silozi and Mafe, Subia, so there are quite a lot. And the San community, we have a community that is called San community, so that also language is slowly dying.
What does that language sound like?
I can't even tell, because I've never heard of it spoken.
Wow.
Like I can't. It's just a small community of people who live in the bush. So their way of life, I think they are nomads. So I can't even tell the language, because it's slowly dying, and I've never heard of it spoken.
Wow, it sounds like there's a lot of research opportunities there.
There is, and I think also an issue of where you are in school, and you are even within the local languages, you only choose one language, and the other ones are not taught in school. I think there's also a lot of documentation that needs to be done so that the languages can be kept alive. Because even if one does a research and then there's no documentation, still our culture is dying, the language itself is dying, and we will be a lost nation, because if you don't have a language, then we are lost.
It's almost like the language is also like the map and the memory.
Yes.
Are locked in there, in the culture, the ways of doing things.
Definitely. Because the way you guys here, I was really like, wow. Because I've never been in a place where people really just are proud of their language. I think we have the Oshirelo back home who like they will walk in an office and they'll start speaking in their Oshirelo. And I'm like, that is only one community. And to you guys here, it will be like every way I can walk in an office and not struggle of speaking English if there's somebody that understands my language. So
Tell us, what's your language again?
my language is Oshuambo, which is
Oshuambo.
yeah, but the dialect is Oshkwanyama that is now taught in school. It's a local language. So that is my
Tell us your name again.
Da Monongenda. That's why even my name is in Oshkwanyama. Da Monongenda.
What does it mean?
I've seen grace.
Nice. Well, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
welcome.
gracing us.